I have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue just thinking about you. Doing an audio check. Seeing if it's loud enough. Test. Okay, we're good. Alrighty. We are live from Columbus, OH, and this is the Ramsey Show Aftershow wearing my denim button-up shirt in honor of Ken, who had his on today. I don't have the life preserver. A thing that I don't know why people wear that. I guess if your arms get warm, but your core is cold, you have to have that life preserver thing on that doesn't have any sleeves on it. I don't get that, but I don't have any of those, so could not properly represent Ken, but there you go. What up, HB? What up, Marshall? Indeed, Merry Christmas to all. And to all, a good night. You're watching this on youtube.com/coachstevemoney, and if you just scroll down past the Oak Island playlist, you'll see my financial content, Ramsey Show Aftershow, which today is number 438 of those, plenty of those to listen to and watch. Answering your financial questions playlist as well, and the music playlist. If you like my singing, that's not my regular job. I don't know if you could tell. But that's not my regular job. But if you like it or even can just stand it, there are 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in the playlist. And normally I do How to Do the Baby Steps Right. And that's what gives financial peace. That's what gives financial peace. And Lifestyle Creep. Instead be a widow. Why the heck are you in debt? And there is music on these. There's just not now. We're singing. And I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz for good advice that she learned in her youth. Oh, let's see. The Baby Steppin' song. That's Dua Lipa's Levitating. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7. We're baby stepping 1,000 fund, pay off debt, full fund, invest, kid college, pay off house, build wealth. We're baby stepping. I fought Warsaw. Nope. Not I fought. Debt fought. Debt fought Warsaw and Warsaw won. Debt fought Warsaw and Warsaw won. What else is there? There's the original Baby Step song. If you want to have financial peace, then you should do Dave's Baby Steps. All right, so that'll give you a little taste of those, and you can of course expect music with those, and of course it's a lot better not being a cappella by me. Oh, let's see. Market report for Monday. This is Monday. What is it? The December the 16th. And it's 54 degrees. Pretty tepid for a December 16 in Ohio. And hey, look at that. Imagine that. NASDAQ up the highest today, 1.24%. And pretty good here, except everything up except the Dow Jones, which is 0.25% down. Check the rest of the planet out, mostly down in Europe, all down in Asia. Currencies, the US dollar over the euro, over the Japanese yen, but down to the British pound, love. but it's up over the Canadian dollar A, sorry, and down to the Australian Dolomite. We got no earnings on the earnings calendar coming up. Alphabet up 3.6% today, and that's a lot, and that has been kicking up a bit lately. Tesla up 6.14%, so you know, if you're part of the government, I guess people like you even more. Talking about Mr. Elon Musk there, Amazon up 2.40, and so this NASDAQ being up, let's go back to it. There it is, up 1.24. So if you have a good managed fund, which likely could have a higher stake in these top seven, in the Magnificent Seven, this is the Magnificent Six, and the one missing is NVIDIA. And so if you have more money in those, more of a percentage in those, you would be way up more than 1.24% today. And that's why we do the managed fund. That's why Mr. Ramsey advises the managed funds, because if you get a good one, they can beat the index even after you take out subtract the larger expense ratio. What else do we want to look at? Anything? And so they're all up, as we said. Yep, and I think that's it today. Futures, we can look at that. Again, NASDAQ way up for tomorrow. Of course, anything could change before the morning. Let's see what kind of news stories we have. Marshall. Putting up Christmas lights in the dark will be comical, but it's the only time I have available. I suggest you film it, Marshall. That way, you know, if there's some kind of bizarre accident and stuff, you'll be viral. How about that? And then hopefully the YouTube money could pay for any hospital stay in that case. And so, yeah, be careful. Definitely be careful. I've done my fair share of that as well. Doing it, you know, wait until the worst weather day when it's like snow and ice outside, and on the roof is what that's called, on the top of the house. Yeah, been through that. Wait till the last, you know, wait too late and do it on the worst weather day. Although I think today's pretty good everywhere. Like I said, it is 54 degrees in Ohio, and you can't complain about that on a December 16th. Yahoo Finance says stock market today, S&P 500 rises. NASDAQ hovers near fresh record as countdown to Fed decision wins. Let's see if it actually made it to a new record. If it was enough. And that is a yes, so a new record today. Yay for the NASDAQ. And this is what people that are just doing the S&P 500 index fund and nothing else are missing out on. Even if you don't do managed funds, which you should do, you should still at least be diversified enough to have some in the NASDAQ as well, because it's been kicking S&P 500 butt for 15 years now. NASDAQ has been higher 12 out of the 15 years. Let's see, what else do we got? Some workers, and this from NPR, National Public Radio, some workers are losing pay raises after overtime rule was struck down. Imagine getting a pay raise only to be told weeks later, sorry, we're taking it back. That's happening to 306 employees at The Ohio State University, now that a federal court has struck down the Biden administration's overtime rule. Finalized in April, the rule would have made some $4.3 million salaried workers. Oh, no, 4.3 million. That's the amount of workers, not dollars. Nationwide, newly eligible to earn 1.5 times their regular pay when they work more than 40 hours a week. One of the basic principles of the American workplace is that a hard day's work, and I've been sleeping like a dog, no, something like that, deserves a fair day's pay. Okay. Don't have any problem with that. Over 40, it should be overtime. The rule began to be phased in on July 1st, when salaried workers earning less than $43,888 a year became automatically eligible to earn overtime, a hefty increase from the previous threshold of $35,568. The more significant jump would have come on January 1st, 2025, when that threshold was set to rise to 58,656, with automatic update every 3 years based on current wage data. Employers across the country, it seemed, had two choices: begin paying eligible workers overtime or raise their pay above the new threshold. Okay. Ohio State, with a workforce of more than $50,000, decided to do some of both. It converted some employees from exempt to non-exempt status so they'd be eligible to earn overtime, and it gave raises to others across the institution, including people working in academic athletics, the university's medical center, and elsewhere. For the 306 people who would have become overtime eligible on January 1st, those raises came early on November 1st, but they were short-lived. Okay, and so why did they do that? The district judge ruled that the Labor Department had exceeded its authority in issuing the overtime rule. Well, that is not anything new. That government would overreach into the private sector, and that is certainly nothing new there, but certainly that is not fun, getting a raise first and then having it taken away. U.S. economic, also from Yahoo Finance. U.S. economic output grows at fastest pace in nearly 3 years to end 2024, and some of course would attribute that to the outgoing administration, but more likely it's due to the incoming administration that generally would have fewer tax things happening and fewer regulation things happening as well, and generally more businesses start up. More businesses put more money into their businesses to expand, which means more jobs, etc., etc., etc. And that's the way it normally happens with a conservative administration. This is from Forbes. The Fed's biggest nightmare is suddenly coming true as Bitcoin price surges. Let's see, Bitcoin suddenly rocketed higher, passing its previous all-time high and climbing to over $106,000 as incoming U.S. President Donald Trump confirms his plan for a Bitcoin game changer. And I don't know why you would involve Bitcoin at all when you could just do your own government virtual currency. So I don't know why they wouldn't do that. So maybe there's things afoot that I don't understand, and that's very easy to believe. But basically, the reason Mr. Ramsey doesn't like it is because it's not based on anything. If you go back to the NASDAQ, these mutual funds, these are indexes, and so you can get indexes based on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and the Russell Small Cap Index, and those are mutual funds, and those are based on the companies that are in those. Like, for example, Apple and Google and Microsoft. Those are companies that make a lot of money. And so it's based on that. And on the other hand, crypto, your Bitcoin here, is based on what people will pay for it only. That's the only thing it's based on. So Mr. Ramsey does not advise. And let's see. Bitcoin price more than doubled since dropping to August lows, helped by Tesla billionaire Elon Musk fanning flames of doubt over the future of the U.S. dollar. That's what happens when you have a deficit of $34 trillion or something like that. That's 18 zeros big. It's a lot of zeros and commas after the whole number there. Now, as the leak reveals, Russia could be poised to beat the U.S. to a Bitcoin reserve. The Federal Reserve has been warned its biggest nightmare could come true in 2025. Again, I don't know why you just wouldn't do your own as a government, and that would actually be based on something, if not just the good name of the United States of America. It could be based on the amount of gold in Fort Knox or any other type of holdings, but certainly we got a lot of debt as well. So that'll be one to watch for that. Alphabet up a lot today, and I did see this. I didn't read it yet, though. This is from Motley Fool website. And let's see, moved higher today. Tech Giant named as top stock for 2025. That's not a reach there to do that, to think that that would be happening. Let's see. Seemed to react to Barron's choice to include Alphabet on the list of its 10 favorite stocks. Okay, so that explains the day, but it has been rising recently. Let's see if it. Incoming Trump administration wants to drop a car crash reporting requirement related to autonomous vehicles, which could benefit Waymo as it attempted to scale up its autonomous, vehicle business. And investors seem to think that Trump's choice to head the Federal Trade Commission, Andrew Ferguson, is likely to be friendlier to big tech than Lina Khan, the current head. Imagine that. Imagine that. The head of the Federal Trade Commission being against big business. Imagine that. And so it doesn't really explain it, why it has been going up. I thought it might do that, but no, it just said why it went up today. All right. Sometimes we click on the news and it's not exactly what we thought it would be. This is a screen grab. I saw this on the MSN over the weekend. Something else that President-elect Trump would like to do is to get rid of daylight savings time, and this is based on, what is it based on? October 2021 Associated Press NORC Center for Public Affairs research poll. 43% of Americans want year-round standard time, 32% want permanent daylight saving time, and 25% want to stick with the status quo, which means springing forward and falling back. U.S. tried. I did not know this because I was so I was 5 or 6 years old in 1974, and the U.S. tried year-round daylight saving time once before under President Richard Nixon. Just a few months into the experiment, Congress acted to go back to standard time after complaints of children going to school in the dark on winter mornings. Indeed, that does not sound fun at all. All right, let's get into some questions after I check on the chat. I don't want them to think I don't love them. Mama call him Trey, Daddy call him Trey, I call him Trey. Marshall says personal debt should not be the reason he doesn't pay the employees their bonuses. Talking about the last call on the Ramsey show today. Because he wants to pay off his debt. He wants to move more money from his company to himself so he can pay off his debt. And so, that is going to be what the baby steps are. That you would do that, but not necessarily a good thing to not reward your employees if they are good, if you depend on them. And of course, Ken, spoiled, gave a big spoiler for National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I'm kidding. If you wanted to see, you've had many, many decades to watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation if you cared about it enough. So no problem. No, I don't have any problem with that spoiler. I was fronting about that. Cryptocurrency isn't the same as digital dollar. Trey says one is monopoly money, the second is government control over spending. Right. Marshall's company bonus paid on the last payday of February. No one is getting it this year. All right. Well, at least they told you. So you can plan ahead for that, and you don't have to put in a pool. Then you're not paying the down payment on a pool, which, again, financing the pool would not be a Ramsey advice thing. So, I mean, that would be a fun thing uh, to check out some movies that are that have monetary things in them and see what the Dave advice to them would be. Most of the time, it's probably going to be to not do what they're doing in the movie, because what they're doing in the movie is the device that causes their life to suddenly become very, very hectic and, in most cases, funny. Do, do, do. Marsh, I'm treating it as a hashtag season. Marsha's getting a pool. I don't know about all that, but that was involved in National Lampoon Christmas Vacation. That's right, the movie Trey. Mama called him Trey, Daddy called him Trey, I call him Trey. That was from a movie as well called Coming to America. Let's see, Invisible Arc, car loan versus mortgage. Apologize if some of you I come across against Dave Ramsey's idea. I did that one already. Power of the high yield savings account. Yep, interest happens. Investing allocation when older. Some people like to go more conservative when they get closer to retirement, because the market does have more chance of going down in a period that is less than 5 years. So, like, and that's when you would get into more conservative investing, like you would put like more into bonds if you wanted to do that. Ramsey advised against the norm in the financial industry on a lot of different things, not just this. There's a lot of different things where he does not do the industry standard, and that's mostly because the industry standard is dumb and in a lot of cases not based on anything. Like the standard 4% is not based on what the expenses will be, because nobody knows what the expenses will be when any particular person retires. So there's nothing it's based on. Except that's all you should take out. That doesn't affect reality if it's not enough to pay for all your expenses. But let's see, continue investing in equities and to not switch to bonds, money market when you're close to retirement or retirement. Let me know your thoughts. Well, the idea is if you've been in the market for 20, 30 years and it's been fine, then theoretically it would be fine for 5 more years. But people can do what they want to do. It's just, if you've been making a ton of money, then even if it does happen to lose some in the last 5 years, you would still be better off than you were if you were being conservative the whole time. So that is the thinking on that. What mutual funds? People always want to know. Tell me exactly what mutual funds to invest in so I don't have to do anything. Let's see. Close on my credit card and credit cards and credit score and create score. Okay, it's not called a create score. Dropped 125 points in 1 month. It can vary as far as what it does, but we don't care about credit score, so it doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with anything about anything concerning the Ramsey advice. The untruths to VA loans, did that one. I'm so sorry. I thought I had it near. I think it is near where, let's see. Have an issue I don't know how to solve. Yeah, this one I don't think I did. Weekly slide 8992. Why don't you slide? Yeah, I think I better slide. Student debt. I have an issue I don't know how to solve. Parents paid for my schooling up until I went to a university for my last 2 years of college. Then they would pay the difference after my loans were applied. I have around $16,000 in student debt after graduating December 2023. My dad insisted on paying it. You could try to say no. I am going to make close to $90,000 this year and have a savings account of 40K saved up. I want to help, but he insists on him continue to make payments, then paying the whole thing once they sell off some stuff they don't need. Let's say I know I'm very important. So you would pay, well, I mean, you could always pay off your student loan debt, unless all that's left is his. Paying the difference after the loan's applied. Oh, and he's also paying he paid the difference that the loans didn't cover, and also he wants to make the student loan payments regardless. I mean, if he wants to give you a gift, I mean, if you want to go around him, you can pay it off and close the account, and then he can't apply the payment to anything, and that way you can have him not be doing that. But I mean, that's up to you. If he wants to help you and give you that gift, then you might consider just taking it. Then paying the whole thing once they sell off some stuff they don't need, right? And so that whole thing that's on like the whole thing about student loan forgiveness, where it may or may not be forgiven, and you have to keep it around for 20-30 years, and the Ramsey advice is to just pay it off rather than run out the clock on it while keeping that debt around. I know I'm very fortunate and don't want to test his pride, but I want to help any way I can. Best parents I could ask for. Great. I mean, it's up to you. You are the one that gets to keep pushing him to let me help. Yeah, you can mention that as much as you want, that you would like to pay for some of it. I mean, start with, well, I'll do, let me pay a quarter of it. Especially since you have 40K saved up, so you can apply that. Hopefully that's the only debt. If that's not the only debt, you should be paying off these smaller debts with that 40K. Other than that, I mean, you have to work that out with him. If it's in your name, as I said, you can pay it off and close it, and then he can't pay anymore on it. But probably he would find some way to get you the money other ways. Never know. But, you have to just work that out with him. And of course, you could just take the gift. But again, if you're going to have this loan sticking around for 10 years, just because he is going to pay it off slowly over time, that would not be the Ramsey advice. The Ramsey advice would be for you to pay it off. Especially if it's in your name, you go ahead and pay it off and take care of it. If it's not in your name, that's not even your loan, but you can still help with it. So it doesn't say, it said my loans were applied. So to pay the difference. So was that a loan taken out by him? So we don't have all of the information on this one. So can't perfectly answer, but what I said was close enough. Last time that happened was in 2008. They're trying to pretend the economy is great because stocks are up. The economy isn't just stock prices. That much is certain. This from Justice 617. What to invest in after maxing out the Roth IRA? Then you would go to a 401k if your company has it. A Roth 401k if your company has it. But if not, the traditional, both of those 401k, both of those are tax advantaged. So you would do those first. Another option would be HSA, health savings account. Some people use that as an extra tax advantaged account. Other than that, you could just do a brokerage account, and then you're paying taxes on both the contributions and on the gains. But that is still investing, and that still will make money over a long period of time. Don't have any debt, house paid off, fabulous. Also have a pension through my work. Okay, the amount that you're contributing to the pension would be, actually, if you're on step 7, this person on step 7, so you can invest more than the 15% of gross income. And so that's up to you. Early 30s and still babies, really. I mean, you have 35 years or so left in the market. So you guys are in great shape. Looking to contribute to other investments now. What would be the next investment step? Yeah, it would just be a brokerage. The only thing that Mr. Ramsey says you should invest in would be for retirement, managed mutual funds. If it's just a piggy bank type of thing, an SP 500 index fund is fine. That's what he puts his in his real estate money to buy new pieces of real estate. That's what he puts that into, an SP 500 index fund in a brokerage account. So he is paying taxes on the income and what the amount that is contributed. He's already paid the taxes on that as part of his income, and he will be paying taxes on it, taking it out. He's paying taxes on the gains of it. So as far as you're just looking for like account names, that would be it. It'd be the Roth IRA. If your business has a 401k, you can do that. Roth 401k would be better than the 401k. And then after that, HSA, and then you would do a brokerage account, which is not tax advantaged at all, but it would still make money definitely over 35 years in the market. Will my credit score go down? The beautiful thing about this is we don't give a crap about that if that happens. Marry Me Cherry 88 has that. Will my credit score go down? Credit card company threatened to close my account because of lack of usage. Will this affect my score? We don't care. Since I'm not the one closing it. You close it. It doesn't matter. I mean, even it's gonna affect it, but we don't care. That's what I'm saying. I have a very high score. I don't need card, and don't mind the closure, but I'm concerned about my credit score going down. Why? The only reason you need a credit score is if you're gonna borrow money. We're not borrowing money anymore, except for a mortgage, and you don't need to do that in the United States of America, because you can do manual underwriting here. I think you can do it in the England as well, but maybe not the Canada, according to a young lady that is in the Ramsey Show chat that lives in Canada. Salty Lemon 9288. High yield savings account at Schwab. Any recommendations? I ended up there after the TD Ameritrade sale. Could also do Fidelity too. You can do any high yield savings account. You can search by the interest rate, but you don't want to put your emergency fund in there unless you have immediate access to it, because you know why? Because emergencies do not wait 1 to 3 days for a transfer before the emergency happens. Now, do they? They do not, is the answer to that. What up, Mila? About 50 E's in there between the M and the L. Mila. Or Milas. And then there would be 2 of them. I don't know if I can handle the 1. So I don't know that I need 2 of Mila. How best to handle this debt? To pay it off as quickly as possible if you're in step 2. Hi all, using a throwaway account for reasons. Okay. Anyway, wanted your advice about how to handle this debt. I lost track of spending on credit cards over the years with various cards and never making enough money to pay it all off until the last year or so. Yeah, so definitely start using them. Start using them just in case you can be responsible and disciplined with them. And that's, of course, not the advice. The advice is to not use them, and that way you never find out, and that way it's never a problem. That's the problem with other financial advisors. They are fine with you wasting years of your life by trying to work with credit cards, and then you get in trouble, and then that puts you so far behind while you pay off that debt and get out of that mess. Let's see. So if you never took it out in the first place, that would be the better advice, because then you wouldn't have the problem. These cards aren't maxed out, but they have 2 to 5K on quite a few of them. I'm in a much better place now financially and started looking at what I owe. Oh, that's good. Just started looking at it now. That's the problem. And was shocked to see that I'm like $38,000 in debt once I add it all up. Yeah, it can get away from you, which is why it's advised to not mess with them, to pay for things with cash, kashish, cash on the barrelhead, COB, cash on the barrelhead. Want to pay them down as quickly as possible. Okay, do that. And wanted advice on the best approach. So now you know what I owe. Here's what I have: 7K high yield savings account, 7K in savings. You dump all except so you see. There's a thing called the baby steps. I don't know if you're familiar with that. You're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, so maybe you heard of them. Step one, save $1,000, and then that is all you have in savings. So everything you have above $1,000 in savings, that gets applied to that debt today. And so you're in step two then, because you do have $1,000 in savings already. So you pay off debts from smallest to largest using the debt snowball method, and debt snowball does mean smallest to largest. So would like to keep a bit for emergencies. Yeah, you do keep $1,000, otherwise you're doing it wrong. Let's see if there's some other dumb crap in here. It's possible. Yeah, there's no Acorns account, and so that's not a tax advantage. That's probably not a tax advantage account. So you would liquidate that as well. And at 18K, yeah, you don't do that. See, you are debt leveraging in order to have all that money in savings. So that is quite normal and quite dumb while you have debt. You're not supposed to have any debt. That's the whole... Mr. Ramsey's the no debt guy, in case you didn't know that, in case you're not aware of that. Bring around $5,200 a month after tax and bills, minus trade cards are around $2,500 to $2,700, okay? And so you could look at your budget too, and maybe you're spending too much money. I guess I'm not sure what the best move is. Withdraw from, yes, every bit of cash that you have that you can take out. Now you wouldn't take it out of a retirement account, a tax advantaged retirement account. You would not do that. But any dumb crap like you're doing, you would take that money out and apply it to the debt. And how much did it say? It's 38. So that is 13 there. Would like to keep at least 5K there. You get to keep 1K if you're going to follow Mr. Ramsey's advice. So you can keep doing stuff the way you want to do it, or you can do it the proven way. Millions of documented success stories, or you can keep doing your dumb crap. So let's see if he can get out immediately. So that would be, okay, so 14 there, and then you keep 1K, and that would be 9, so that would be 23, and then another 26. And so, yeah, that pays off the whole thing. So that's so dumb. So dumb to have $38,000 in debt and then have more than that in on-hand cash and investing in dumb stash and dumb trendy crappy acorns and stash and crap like that. Use the cash to pay everything, yeah, and keep a little savings and essentially start over. Yes. Not sure what tax fees might apply. None. You'd have to pay on the gains. You'd have to pay taxes on the gains. Other than that, I don't think you have any. Again, unless you can do a tax-advantaged account in Stash or Acorns, and I don't know that you can. Those might all be just brokerage accounts where you pay taxes on the contributions, out of your paycheck. It's already taxes already taken out of that, and then when you cash out, you are paying the taxes on the gains on there. Or just use the cash but keep some in savings, 12 to 15. That's a no, 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 no. Everything you're thinking is bad, and you know the answer because you typed that first. Use my cash to pay everything, yeah. And you know that you know darn well the answer. Would it be better to keep the... No, it would not. And pay out the debt slower? No, it would not. That's debt leverage. Mr. Ramsey's the no debt guy. I don't know if you heard of him. He's the no debt guy. I think paying it all and resetting is the best option. Indeed. But interested in hearing what others have to say. Thanks in advance. Well, it really doesn't matter. If you're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, you might think that Mr. Ramsey would be the one to listen to, and that's his advice. And it's very easy to understand. He's the no debt guy. So that means pay off your debt and not to have dumb savings and investments on top of having debt. That is dumb as crap. And this is where Dave would say, I hope I was not unclear. Or I hope that was clear. Active Spinach 2047. What to do with underwater car, mounting debts, and rising expenses. Stop all of that. Work more. Cut your budget. Stop spending. Work more. I'm really struggling with my finances. Could use some advice? I'm currently underwater. Let's go ahead and open this up and see, so we can see all of it in its glory. Really, but currently underwater my car by 7K. Bought it for 49K. Dumb as crap. But it's now worth 18 to 24K, and I still owe 30K on it. Dumb. That's why it's dumb as crap. I tried selling it on Facebook Marketplace, Carvana, CarMax, but the highest offer I got was 18,000. Okay, and so while you do that, guess what? Mr. Ramsey is fine with you taking out a 12K loan and putting that with your 18K offer that equals 30K. So you're getting rid of a $30,000 loan, and you would still have that $12,000 loan, which has you 18,000 less in debt. And so that's why he's fine with you doing that, because it lessens your overall debt and is effectively paying off some of that debt. On top of that, I have 20K in credit card debt. 401K loan is 6K. All the loans, all the stupid this person has done. Sure. Very normal. Very normal. Medical bill, surgeon, increased living expenses have made it harder to keep up. Okay, so when you have increased living expenses, then you have to stop buying other things. So, or you're living in too high a cost of living area and you have to move. Working full time and bring home about 2.5K net every 2 weeks, but the mounting bills feel overwhelming. I'm considering loan consolidation. Don't do that. That just makes you think you've done something. You're just moving it around is dumb, and that's not advised. Dave calls it debt consolidation for that reason, because it makes you think you've done something, and then you think, oh, well, I don't have to worry about this now. No, worry about it until all the debt's gone. Should I focus on paying down the car, credit cards, or the 401k first? Any guidance would be accepted. So if we refer back to the lovely baby steps, and I mean, you know, people have a hard time with, oh, what, you mean there's not special advice for just me? Yes, there is special advice for just you, but fortunately, it's very easy because it's the same advice for everybody else. It doesn't matter what your little crap is about. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you think about anything. Doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Nothing matters except baby steps is the best thing for you to do, regardless. And so the debt snowball is smallest to largest, and that's how you would pay things off. And yes, get rid of that car. Oh, what do people think here? Think about land trust homes. Oh, anything in a trust, I'm not doing that. I mean, let's see, we have an organization that sells land trust homes. Yeah, I'm not going to be involved in that. If it's not your trust, no. Let's see. In a nutshell, they're a charity that helps lower income people buy homes. No, No, if you can't afford a house yourself, do not buy one. That's a no. Open, Rigel. If you use credit cards and debit cards. Okay, I use debit cards, a debit card. I understand Dave's theory about credit cards. At least I think I understand. All right. If I use my credit card and pay it in full at the end of the statement balance, would that still be fine? That's a no, because it's debt the second you use the card. That's debt. And you're in debt until you pay the end of statement balance. And then you're going to use it again. And so that's playing footsie with the bank, and that's not advised. So that's a no. Never delayed payments, never paid a single penny in interest in the 6 years I've had credit cards, and I do get the rewards and other benefits that I don't get with debit cards. Am I still on the wrong track? Yes, if you would like to follow proven advice by Mr. Ramsey. If not, if you don't like that and you love your rewards and you think you're getting over on the bank, that's fine. You can certainly do that. And you don't have to ask anybody or run it by the Dave advice. You don't have to do that. If you think that's the best thing to do, you can just do whatever you want with your life and your money, but that would not be Mr. Ramsey's advice. SIB 9,000. Thanks to the mods. I want to thank the mods of this sub. You're doing pretty much thankless and near impossible job dealing with post comments around here, and it is appreciated. I think I read that one before, but not a few of the other ones. Thank you. Let's see, Haunting Rabbit 69. Thank you, Dave Ramsey. Pregnant in college to buying a house in 3 years. During my senior year of college, I became pregnant. 9 months later, my boyfriend of 3 years became my husband. Okay, little bit out of order there, but hopefully all good now. Became a mother. Navigating college, marriage, and joining the workforce was super scary, especially financially. I want to say that Dave Ramsey set us up for success. When I was 21, my new husband and I left college with $5,000 in savings of $40,000 in student loan debt. Luckily, we both loved math, so we ended up having $200K income combined straight out of... He's a mechanical engineer, and I was a software engineer. Fabulous. And went off to New York City, not the cheapest place to live, where jobs were. Moving to New York City, apartments was super expensive, so was daycare. However, by following Dave, we we were able to find a 2K, 150 square foot studio and climb 4 flights of stairs to enter our apartment. Well, you can skip leg day then. Cool. Daycare was $3K a month, as we didn't want to sacrifice on care, but for our child, it was the third cheapest option. Budget, monthly budget is basically 2K rent, 3K daycare, 3K to 4K debt payoff, 3K everything else. Eventually, that 3K became an emergency fund and then a down payment on a cheap home. Proud to say that at 24, we paid off our student loans, have 30K in emergency fund, and just bought a $300,000 condo. It's super small. That's New York for you. 600 square foot, 2-bedroom in northern New Jersey. But it's all we need. We also have been putting 15% retirement at 35K in savings. Great. Husbands and family and her families live in poverty, and we're the first ones to graduate college, even have savings, make 6 figures, and buy a house. Fabulous. Maybe we'll never live the life we did growing up. Fabulous. I want to say thank you to Mr. Ramsey Show for giving me that advice on the show that day, and YouTube for making him pop up on our feeds. He's changed the trajectory of our lives. I'm all about giving back. So if anyone has any questions, please DM me. And that is fabulous. And that happened to me as well. Life changing. Absolutely. This little girl might be too smart. Yeah, sometimes you can be too smart. That is possible. Silent Coconuts 8530. Whole life policy recommendations. That would be not to have it. That would be to get to the whole life policy recommendations would be to get term life instead. husband has an uncle with an intellectual disability. Okay, so if he has whole life already, may not qualify for term life, and then you would keep the whole life. That would be the only case that you would do it if you do not qualify for term life. My husband was a child. His grandma asked if he would take care of him when she died. She passed away about 14 years ago. My husband took over the finances, which included a whole life insurance policy. We started listening to Ramsey videos this year, and no, they are not recommended. True. We're wondering if we should cash out now and invest the money in something else. It was purchased in 1971. If that whole life policy is on you, then yes. If it's on the uncle with the intellectual disability, then I mean, does that if that person doesn't have dependents, does it need insurance? Maybe enough to bury him, and same for you. But if you would have dependents, theoretically, the husband and wife both need life insurance to replace the income and or the services that each provides in the event of one's death. Let's see, 1971, 5,000 face value. 1971, and it's only worth $5,000. And tell me again how that's a good idea. 1971, dog. That is 53 years ago. And it is 5,000 face value. Did you take money out of it already? It was transferred into my husband's name in 2011 and had a cash surrender of $5,300 and death benefit of $11,115 yearly premium. My husband found that his grandma had. So again, I don't know who this is on. It's not say because otherwise, why would the uncle be mentioned at all here? Illogical to mention the uncle if that's not his policy. If the policy is not on him. Let's see. Taking out loans on the policy. Yep, Grandma did that. But we don't know the details of those. He's been using dividend to pay those premiums, so we haven't been paying anything. The dividends ran out last year. Now my husband's thinking of cashing out because of the $70 yearly premium. Just wondering if anybody has any recommendations. If those loans aren't paid off, you need to pay those off with the policy, and you could cash it out to do that. You could do all that at the same time, and so yeah, find out about that. But again, it doesn't need to be in place if it's on the husband, because hopefully the husband has term life, hopefully the wife has term life, and if you could get the uncle with the intellectual disability also on term life, if the uncle needs a life insurance policy, then yeah, you would get rid of it. And so the only time to keep one is if you do not qualify for term life. But if there's a loan on it, when you cash it out, all that would have to be taken care of all at the same time. And that may mean you have to bring some cash to the table, depending on how much was taken out on it. Do I use the debt snowball method? That's from Avid Inspiration. Do I use the debt snowball method if I have $10K to drop on my student loans? Yes, you do. And you don't drop it necessarily on the student loans. You pay from smallest to largest, regardless of anything. It doesn't matter if you suddenly get $10,000 or if you have it in savings. Yes, any savings, you would drop down to the $1,000 and use any excess to pay on the smallest debt, and you keep going until that money runs out. Hopefully, by the time the money runs out, you have all of your non-mortgage debt paid off. Let's see, long story short, won a 10K scholarship. Congratulations. They said I could use it on student loans, okay? I have about 33K in federal student loans, separated in 10 loans, ranging from none of that interest rate doesn't matter. I don't give a crap. At first, I was going to allocate it from lowest to highest, as Dave Ramsey has said, and that's what you do. The problem would be is if it has to be used on student loans, then you would put it towards those. If you can't use it for whatever you want to, then yes. Let's see, but then I thought, isn't that for when you only can use your monthly income, not if you win a huge sum? No, it's not. It's the same advice no matter what. So, like if you were to get inheritance, or if you would get some kind of gift for X amount of money, you apply it to whatever baby step you're on, and you keep going up the baby steps as far as that money will go. Because it's in a lump sum doesn't change the advice at all. So it's very easy. People like to make it harder than it is. Let's see. So what is Dave Ramsey's advice on this? Or would it be the same thing to use that snowball? Yes. That is the beauty of the baby steps. It is always the same for everybody. And I don't care about all these numbers. None of these numbers change the advice. Let's see if there's any other bits of wisdom here. There's all the numbers and percentages that I don't give a crap about. Doesn't change the advice. The ones I had, maybe best to drop it on just at first glance. No, you do smallest to largest, Bubba. We don't look at interest rate. You're doing it wrong. Smallest to largest means smallest to largest amount. Oh, so you would only look at this. So look at this. Oh, look. Look at this. Imagine that. He organized it smallest to largest. So you know damn well exactly what to do, sir. You know what to do already. I also know the debt snowball is psychologically motivation. Exactly. But isn't that only motivating if it's from your income? No, it's not. No, it's not. You're overthinking it. Overthinking it, sir. I am thinking of consolidating my student loan. No, there's no need to do that. The only time Dave recommends for consolidation, if they're private student loans, but they're not. They're federal, aren't they? Federal. They're federal. So he only recommends that for private student loans, just because the interest rate tends to be so darn high. What do y'all think? Do the baby steps. How about the baby steps? How about look at the list and do what that says rather than trying to overthink it and try to improve on it. Also, already graduated, current job will pay for my future education, at least the prerequisites needed to enter the master's program I want in communication sciences and disorders, which won't let me work full-time and study, which is the requirement for the job to pay for a master's program. So I will probably be applying for more scholarships for the master's program, but that's like in 2+ years or so, since I have to complete the prereqs first. All right, well, you do want to make sure that the master's is going to be worth it, and you do not take out any new loans for that ever. Oh, let's see. How does the gamut take a loan on a policy for someone else? That is a good question. If she has power of attorney, maybe she had power of attorney for the uncle with what was that? Not a learning, the intellectual disability. Maybe if she had power of attorney, then I believe she can do that. Rando Ricketts. Credit card paid off. Now what? What would Dave do? Flair here. If the credit card's paid off, then you go to the next smallest step. Still in step 2. Or if that's your last debt, then you go to step 3, full emergency fund. Very easy. Been following Ramsey for a bit. He's a no debt guy, so you should know that then. And just recently paid off my 2 largest credit cards of the 3 I have. And that you're doing it wrong. It's smallest to largest. I want to get my rewards points off them, but what do I do with them then? We don't care about rewards. You get rid of them. You close them immediately. I know Dave says to destroy them. Destroy them. I know Dave says to destroy them. Period is where it should end now. But people always have a big but right after the thing that where I know Dave says this. I mean, that's not good enough for you? Well, then do whatever the heck you want then. If you don't want to take the Ramsey advice, you don't have to. That's the beauty of it. Most people will not take the Ramsey advice. So you're joining the club. You're not being unique at all. Not being weird. And the idea is to be weird. Because this is the best thing to do financially. What do I do with the actual account after I destroy them? You close it. Just let it sit active until the credit card company finally closes it. No, you close it. Or call them up and request that they close it. You close it. I mean, you would think that you would have to explain that to anybody, but people are, as we know, nutty. I think we'll leave it there. We'll pick up tomorrow. Again, youtube.com/coachstevemoney. Financial content is just a little scroll down. Ramsey Show After Show playlist, the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist, and the music playlist that has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. Give those a listen if you are so inclined. And once again, I am Coach Steve Money. I am not just a guy here telling you you're being dumb and what you're doing is dumb and calling debt dumb. I am a Ramsey Solutions financial coach, certified financial coach, not just regular, certified by Ramsey Solutions financial coach. And you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me if you got money problems or you just want to make sure you are on the right track. You can do that at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. Link is in the ticker down below and in the video description. Email at coachstevemoney@gmail.com for financial coaching questions or anything on my YouTube channel or anything else you got on your mind. I don't mind touching Indians with you. And donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney, walmart.com for a Walmart gift card, coachstevemoney@gmail.com, or CashApp, $CoachSteveMoney. Upcoming streams, Ramsey Show After Show, Monday through Friday, following each YouTube Ramsey Show. And that will start, my stream will start approximately 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time. And that includes starting this Thursday, where the Ramsey Show will be on replays probably through January 6th. They'll probably be off from Thursday, this coming Thursday, what is that? The 18th, 19th. Thursday's the 19th, so December 19th to January 6th, I believe, is their Christmas vacation. And there will not be new Ramsey shows, but I will still be doing after shows after the replays, unless I have been invited for some kind of Christmas thing to somewhere. And one of the nights after the after show, I will be doing a live stream from Easton Town Center, which is a huge shopping complex, indoor and outdoor. And they have tons and tons of Christmas decorations, a huge tree. And so looking forward to doing that. So watch out for that live. That will be my first live using my phone. And my first live stream of that type, where I'm not just sitting right here in front of the old computer. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment if you've done those things already. I love you so much. Thank you so much for doing so. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.